How's it going, Lunarians, old and new? It's SorenPlays, and today we're back with another episode of Mythological Mondays. Today we will be delving into the myths of the recent box set, Daybreak. Alright, let's get into it. First one you'll see on the screen is Lestragon. Now, in my opinion, Lestragon is the best one out of the Nexus line of the Drats. You have Lakagon, you have Lestragon, and then you have Latagon. Now, we've gone over most of the Drats in previous Mythological Mondays, so once again, we have to include Lestragon. It would be rude not to, especially considering he plays a big part in the lore of Jason and the Argonauts, which is what Daybreak is based off of. What's really cool about Lestragon compared to the other Gons is he's both a Nexus Elestral and a receiver. And now when Lestragon receives from a Nexus, you can target a destroy card, which is really powerful. So for him, I would recommend using it with Circle of the Skies and Altar of the Stars, along with your other two Nexus users in Solar. You have your Dratora and you have your Exaltus. Pair those together and you can just start popping cards left and right. It's really powerful. You can ask Eclipse Trico, who loves Lestragon. I used to have a deck that ran Lestragon that used Circle of the Skies and Altar of Stars. Altar of Stars. And it was pretty devastating because he would Gorgons on my turn, and then literally on his turn I would just Altar Stars to start popping cards before he could do anything. It was really bad. So you may be wondering, who was Lestragon based off of? So Lestragon, in the lore of Jason and the Argonauts, is based off of the Colchian dragon, or known as Kolkikos, which is the name of the dragon, was a giant watchful serpent which guarded the Golden Fleece in the Singing Grove of Ares in Colchis. When Jason and the Argonauts came to fetch the fleece, the beast was either slain by Jason or he was put to sleep by the witch Medea. In one version of the story, he was preserved only in base painting, and Jason was first devoured and disgorged by the dragon, which is a really cool lore. I think the only one of the Lestragons that I couldn't say was based off of anything real was Lucagon, and that wasn't really more of a myth per se. But it's really cool that once again this set ties in a lot of the lore to these Elestrals to Jason and the Argonauts, which is why it's based off of Daybreak. So that's it for Lestragon. Next we have Novacore. Once again, this is the next core Elestral that we've talked about that is based on the Manticore. Novacore is really unique in my opinion because when you put it in defense position, it's really strong. Defense position Elestrals cannot be targeted by opponent's counter runes, and then when one gets played, you can draw a card. So Novacore is the final extension of what's his name, Glimbat. So game tip that I would like to do, that I've seen and witnessed firsthand with Novacore, leave him in defense, and then when you bring out your 2-cost Elestrals like Lestragon and Solstox, put them in defense, and your opponent just can't PTA them. They're safe. And then next turn, you can swap them to attack if you want to, or for the sake of Lestragon, just keep them in defense to continuously use its effect to pop cards. It's really strong. Last tournament in the casuals, I got decimated by Novacore and 2 Lestragons because I couldn't touch the field. And like I said earlier, Novacore is based on a Manticore, nothing too exciting behind it. I think it's really cool. The new one that's coming out in Moonrise is really cool as well. If you see the full art, you can see them dueling. Next we have Celestial, one of the big 3 box toppers of the set, and in my opinion, the true mascot behind Daybreak. Celestial has a really powerful effect. You can foretell 4 cards and add each Solar Celestial foretold this way to your hand, and then you can pop cards equal to the number of Solar Celestials added to your hand. Really strong effect. If you get all 4, if you play it right, like with First Light, and draw 4, you automatically pop 4 cards. What can your opponent really do then? A Gorgon's cool. You stop me for 1 turn. Nothing really else to say to that. So Celestial is based on the Nemean Lion, who once again was involved with Jason and the Argonauts, but not directly. You see, the Nemean Lion was defeated by Heracles, who was a member of the Argonauts. Not a lot of people realize that he was a member of the Argonauts. And he was defeated during his first trial during the 12 labors that Heracles had to go on in repentance for what happened with him and his family. So once again, tying to the Argonauts, not necessarily Jason and the journey of the Argonauts, but still tied to an Argonaut per se, which is really cool. Next, we have Soul Stocks, the Solar Cow. As I used Soul Stocks in a previous video, he is Apollo's sacred animal. He has a thing for cows. When Soul Stocks get special cast, you can revive 2 solar spirits from the underworld and put them anywhere on the field. Normally what you do is you put them on Apollo after you use Apollo a couple times to try to foretell to get Soul Stocks out. You replenish Apollo, then you can disenchant from Apollo using Soul Stocks' effect to pop a card. Another way to get rid of a card on the field, really strong. So Soul Stocks, he's a reference to the kettle of Helios, the god of the sun. These immortal cows were told by Odysseus to his crew that they would not be unharmed or killed. Unfortunately, when Odysseus had to go away to pray, his crew did not listen and they sacrificed them to the gods. Now, normally when you make a sacrifice to the gods, it's an offering and normally gods will accept it. In this case, the gods did not like the sacrifice. And so Helios ordered the gods to take vengeance on Odysseus' men. So Odysseus and his men left on the boat, and then the boat sank. Jason survived, which led him to the island of Calypso, which is a really cool fact. Nothing else from there. Then we have Cybermal. Without Cybermal, this set would not be as important. Cybermal is a piece that holds a whole story together for Daybreak. So the reason why I say that is because Cybermal is based on the golden winged ram that provides the golden fleece, which is what Jason and the Argonauts are going after, which is the golden fleece. If Cybermal or the ram did not exist, there would be no golden fleece. Hence, Jason and the Argonauts either would have to go on a different quest, or there would not have been a quest at all altogether. And it's interesting that they tie in Cybermal to this story. By playing Cybermal, you get to search Golden Fleece from your deck and get to play it, and then you play 2 solar cards, solar spirits from the underworld as the cost instead of paying 2 more spirits from your deck. Really cool. It's received a lot of play. I think more and more solar decks are starting to play it just because of the free engine of reviving spirits that way, then you can access. But that's just my thoughts. That's really it for Cybermal. Like I said, he's the main core of the Jason and the Argonauts story. Without him or the actual ram, it would not be complete. So it makes sense that this card was created. Basubatuga. So you may be wondering, why is Basubatuga in here? Well, 2 things. One, it's based off of Mount Vesuvius on a turtle. So Mount Vesuvius erupted, and that is what destroyed Pompeii. So there really is no myth behind Vesuvius per se. However, why Vesuvius erupted is full of myths. Now, the main myth behind that is because of the moral decay of Pompeii and Herculaneum, which was a city founded by Hercules, the gods were mad and decided to have Vesuvius erupt, destroying Pompeii. Very interesting ability, or myth behind it. I think there's a lot of credibility to it. I believe in the gods, but that's neither here nor there. Now, Basubatuga, kind of, I would say its effect is interesting, right? So it punishes, and then on the other hand, it can heal. So on one hand, you can expend a spirit to burn your opponent for 2, and then on the other hand, when you play Eruption, on top of your opponent burning, you also heal. So think of it as a reward from the gods per se, but that's just neither here nor there. So once again, this one didn't really have much myth to it. It was more the mountain Vesuvius itself and why it erupted that covers the myth. You could also say it's like the world turtle carrying the world on its back, but I kind of think it's more towards just Vesuvius itself. But that's interesting that it could also be the turtle, the world turtle. Then we're going to Kerberos. Kerberos is a really cool card. It's the ascended form of everyone's favorite card, Eddie. Kerberos is based off on Sharpetus, who is one of the monsters that Jason and the Argonauts had to try to avoid. So Kerberos has an interesting effect where you can disenchant 2 water from the field to destroy a card on the field, and then you heal spirits equal to the number of enchantments on it. So for gameplay wise, I would usually use it on a Divine Rune because there's usually 2 to 4 spirits on it, and that allows you to go in the positive to heal. Or if your opponent has a 2 or 3 cost Celestial on the field, you would use Kerberos' effect to pop to get rid of that 3 cost, so you can heal back as well. So the story behind Charybdis. Charybdis is the son or daughter of Poseidon, who in Poseidon's feud with Uncle Zeus. Charybdis is a female, by the way. When Poseidon was feuding with Zeus, she helped him engulf lands and islands in water, and Zeus did not like that, so he sent her to the bottom of the ocean with a thunderbolt from the seabed. She drank the water from the sea 3 times a day, creating whirlpools. Once, if you look at the card, it's a giant whirlpool with a mouth and tentacles sticking out of it. She lingered on a rock with Scylla, who Scylla will talk about when Moonrise comes out. It's another fun card. Technically, those cards came out in Shattered Stars, but I'm going to wait to talk about the Shattered Stars cards because Shattered Stars for that month was not supposed to come out before Moonrise, so these cards were supposed to be revealed in Moonrise, so we'll talk about them when Moonrise comes out in a few months. So once again, really cool effect. Kerberos is really cool. It's seen a decent amount of play, but nothing compared to the Scylla counterpart, which is really sad. Kerberos can be run in a lot of Water Nexus decks, just because of how you can flood the field. So I hope I can see more of it in play. The final Celestial of the evening, Pulsar. As I talked about in the last Mythological Monday video when I talked about Morfrost Abominable Snowman, it's a Yeti. While Morfrost Abominable leaned more into the Abominable side like Frosty the Snowman, Pulsar on the other hand dealt more into the Abominable or Yeti side, the monstrous side. It takes the form of a bear. It's not an Ursa, which is kind of interesting, but you know, it's neither here nor there. So I like to think of Pulsar more as for the Star Wars fans, a Wampa. If you've seen what a Wampa looks like, that's basically Abominable Snowman. This is what Pulsar looks like. And this artwork is not as terrifying, but if you've seen the Shattered Stars and celebrations for Pulsar, you can truly see how terrifying that artwork is and how scary it is. He has a pretty interesting effect as well, where he gets +1 for each Frost Celestial in your Underworld. But you can't do it more than 5, so it becomes a 7. This card is going to be really popular in the self-mill Frost decks. I've seen the sneak preview of today's video for Kickstarter for Moonrise, and it revealed a lot of new mill cards for Frost, and this card is going to be really strong in it. Now that covers all the Elestrals from base set to now for Mythological Mondays. I won't delve into any more Elestrals till Moonrise comes out, and so every time a new set comes in, that's when I'll delve into the Elestral side of Mythological Mondays. And then once I do the Elestrals, then I go into the runes. So next week's video, I will be starting at the very beginning, once again in base set, and go over the runes that are based on mythology for Mythological Mondays. So we should probably be looking at 3 or 4 more videos, and that'll be the end of Mythological Mondays until Moonrise comes out. So I'm super excited to continue doing this series. If you really like this series, please leave a like and comment below what your favorite part so far of Mythological Mondays is, what you want to see in future videos, and stuff like that. I really would love your feedback to make these videos as best as possible for you guys. Please, please, please. I appreciate you guys watching my videos. I appreciate you guys, your amazing community. I can't wait to make more videos for you. This is SorenPlays signing off. Bye.